What's the mindset ahead of tomorrow's contest?
Yeah, I think after last night, wasn't anywhere near what we wanted, so we had to come in here today. I thought out there guys were working, battling, getting some of those fundamentals back and some of those good habits back, and just regrouping, ready to go tomorrow.
To see Sorokin back on the ice and to skate with you guys, just how positive is that for his recovery?
Yeah, obviously it's a good sign when he's starting to take shots like that. Thought he looked pretty good out there, same old. So it's good to have him back and getting comfortable, getting closer to game action.
It's of course not, great news for Horvat that he's not out there, hoping that it's nothing too serious, but just what has he meant to the team this year and just on him making Team Canada as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's such a leader in this locker room. He drives a lot of what we do on a lot of nights. So, obviously, a big loss for us, but hopefully not long. I think both ends of the rink, he's such a key player, and obviously that's what's gotten him on Canada squad. That's very deep. So it's a deep team, and obviously he belongs there. And I have a feeling he could be a big part of a lot of the stuff they're doing there.
I wanted to ask you about Matthew Schaefer becoming the youngest defenseman to reach that 10-goal mark in NHL history. Just what have you seen from him this year, and how impressive has he been? It feels like he's breaking history every other night.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only halfway through the year, and we're talking about this. So, no, it's I think he's been really really good right from the start. Obviously when you're young, yeah, I mean, no matter how old you are, there's going to be ups and downs throughout the seasons and stuff. But I feel like he's kept it really steady. I think as he goes along, he's kind of just getting going. He's only going to get better. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about all these different records being broken, and we have 40 games left, so pretty impressive.
You mentioned halfway through the season, just game 41 was yesterday. How do you look at this team through the first 41 games, and how far have you guys have come?
Well, I think if you're looking at halfway through, I mean, right now we've gotten ourselves in a pretty good spot. Um, there's a lot of hockey left, and it's going to be looking at our division, our conference, it's tight. So um, we just focus one day at a time. But I think if you looked at us at the after not making playoffs last year, and you said after 41 games we'd be where we're at, I think anyone would take that. So yeah, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, but now we regroup and just find it again for the second half.
How do you look at the season overall so far, halfway through?
Well, as a whole, first half, I think we've done some really good work. We've played some good hockey at times, and been able to push through a little bit of some adversity that we'll face, and maybe are facing a little bit now. But we're in a good spot in the standings, and it's something that we can build off. And I think there's games we look back on that we took advantage of our opportunity, and some that maybe slipped away. But that's going to happen through the first 41. So I like where we're at. I like where we're heading, and let's continue to push on this and build off of it. I think the first half of every season can go many ways, and I think we have done a really good job to put ourselves in a good spot to push in the second half.
I was talking to Ryan Pulock, and he said that if you told this group on game one that you'd be at this point, 41 games in, he'd be pleasantly surprised by that. Did this group, or did you have any expectations at the halfway mark?
Yeah, I mean, I expected us to be in the playoffs, and I think that's what this group has been working for. But there's a lot of things that go into it, and you got to play good hockey, you got to show up and execute and all that stuff. But I think in moments throughout this season so far, we've risen to the occasion and been big in those moments and scored some big goals or had some big saves and found ourselves finding ways to win hockey games. And when you compound that over 41, you put some good games together, you're in a playoff spot, and that's where I expected us to be if we did all the right things and played well. But you got to go do them. You got to show up every day in practice. You got to prepare yourself and all that stuff. And I think our team's done a really good job of adapting. We've had some wonderful additions, and guys have played well to make this all happen.
The standings are packed, and of course, the standings are always important. But is there a heightened sense of importance, when you get to the second half of the season, especially when everything's so tight in the Metro?
I think just the natural progression of the season builds on that. I think 2 points in October still mean the same as 2 points in January, but there's a little bit more implications in terms of how much time you have left to make those things up. So yeah, it's that natural progression of the season where we're going to start getting into our division a little bit more. We're going to have that race is going to continue to be tight, and we expect nothing else. We've done this a lot, and it always comes down pretty much to the last few games of this season. So there's no let up. We can't take anything for granted, and take it day by day, and not get too down or too high or too low and all that stuff that you talk about. But it rings true.
I want to ask you about Ilya Sorokin, of course, being out there for the first time since he suffered an injury. Just how positive is that for him to be out there with the group?
Oh, it's good to see Ilya. I mean, he's been around, so see him every day. But just great to see him on the ice, looking good, feeling good, and taking one step closer to rejoining our team. We obviously all know his importance to our club, and really has stood tall in the meantime. But to have Ilya back and our 1-2 punch going again will be great.
You mentioned Riddick. He's been so reliable, 6 games straight, carrying heavy workload. How impressive has he been in importance to this group?
Oh, he's been extremely impressive. He's stolen a few games for us, and every once in a while, you need your goalie to do that, and he's done that. He's such a gamer. I've said it before, but I love the way he plays the game. Plays it with passion and emotion, and shows up every night.
Yeah, he's not going to play this week, and we're going to reevaluate him after the week.
And is the plan for Sorokin to start tomorrow?
No, tomorrow he'll be back up. Just a question for him to get his game shape and have a couple, practice, and then play against Jersey is the plan.
And it seemed like you put you have Holmstrom with Richie and Drew, and you mix up a couple of lines. Just what are your thoughts there?
We like the chemistry between Simon and Callum. I thought they play well, and Anders and Barzy have been playing really well together. If you look at the last 20 games we played, I think Anders and Barzy are top scorer on our team. So I like that, and fit in with, let's say, Aini and Joe with them. So it'll be a good fit for those 2 lines.